Alright, welcome back to another April Showers retrocast. This is going to be a ZVT between the red Zerg in the bottom left, Heartland Hitman's Ireniicus, and in the top right, the blue Terran, Deadiam. And this is game 2 of round 2 of the Diamond Losers bracket of our April Showers tournament. If you don't know us or want to check us out, check out heartlandstarcraft.com for more information. A lot of good people here. And game 1 was a good bit of a cheese. That was just flat out Proxy Reaper. Ireniicus could not actually get anything out to handle that. Saying he's having some trouble against Terran as well. And we'll see if there's any early cheese this time. It doesn't look like it though. No early SCVs coming out. Choosing choice in a row can be a little bit tricky. And these casts, by the way, are a cast of people that have not gotten onto the live stream during the tournament. We did get a bunch of really fun games in while the tournament was running, but we can't get everyone. So looking to get some of the unsung heroes of the tournament. Overlord scouting out. Might see some very aggressive scouting for proxies this time by Ireniicus. Though it looks like he's just going to be going for the normal, so standard hatch first against Terran. And it is going to be normal for Deadiam as well. Does get a gas instead of going for a super fast expansion. Ireniicus does have that Overlord. By the way, I love where this Overlord is. This Overlord will spot an early bunker rush so well. I love putting an Overlord here against both Protoss and Terran. Stops cannon rushes. You get so much more vision than you would just from the building hatchery alone. Because really, if you played Zerg, how many times has that happened to you? Your hatch is up, you're like, alright, I'm about to go. Finishes, bam, there's two bunkers sitting right outside with Marines running towards them. And you didn't see it to the last second. That Overlord right there, beautiful. First Overlord, definitely want to scout up there with. And you can send your third up here if you want, or down to their third. Alright, Terran is walled in successfully, getting a factory, fast factory. And no add-on for this barracks. Likely to see some early Hellions. Those factories being built not in a place where it can be an easy swap with the barracks for a reactor. But it is, on the other hand, much harder to scout. Zergling comes up here, will not be able to see all the way back there. Alright, Ireniicus feeling pretty good now that he's not having Reapers in his base. Just droning and macroing up, and I need to turn on the production tab. Alright, these two Zerglings hopefully going to be used to scout. Some very brave Marines out on the map early. You can sort of get away with this as Terran. Usually Zerg will make two Zerglings just for scouting. Otherwise they want to drone. But this can be super dangerous if there's even more than a few, like 6 or 8 Zerglings can just catch these Marines, kill them off, and actually set you back into your base for a fair amount of time. Alright, it is going for an early speed instead of that third. 1 worker in gas, so a slow amount of gas income, focused mainly on minerals, but not completely delaying his tech. Definitely seen that before. And our Hellions are out. Going one at a time, and another factory. This is why I should look at the production tab. We have a tech lab coming down, so we might actually see mech this game. Alright, 2 Hellions out. Gonna poke at the front, see what they can do, but double Spinecrawler at the front. Ireniicus does not want any of Deadiam's tomfoolery. And yes, I just said tomfoolery. Roachwarren as well. Sees the Hellions, does not want to get overwhelmed by a sudden rush of them. Very likely that this is a defensive Roachwarren, not sort of a Roach rush. Queen's also used to block the ramp. And he wants to get that creep spread out there, and these Hellions are there to deny it. But with even one Queen, 3 Hellions and a Marine is not really going to do much to that Queen. And you can defend in time to get those tumors down. Do not see an expand yet for Deadiam. Actually going for an armory with 2 tech labs. Getting double siege tank. This is a very, very interesting build. Some Zerglings scouting out, and we'll see that there is no expansion. That is absolutely huge, and they are going to get into the main base. These Zerglings can absolutely wreak havoc. Deadiam having a lapse just long enough for those Zerglings to get in, and that is all the difference. We'll see 2 siege tanks coming out, so he will be able to prepare against that. SCVs brought in, acting as linebackers for those siege tanks. Meanwhile, moving in at the front, Deadiam fending off with a siege tank, 2 Hellions to get rid of all those Zerglings. The Queens are moving in, and he will take out the siege tank. 1 Spine Crawler remains. He should be just fine. Oh, that is a lot of Marines, and he doesn't have any sort of Baneling nest. Lair almost done. A couple Roaches might not be a bad idea, but with these 2 tanks on the way, Roaches do get melted. But they would be fantastic against all those Marines and those Hellions. Does he have a command? He still does not have a command center up. Very fast armory. Might be getting Hellbats behind this, but no starport for a drop of any kind. Alright, Queen's looking to push that back again. But the tanks are here. Spire on the way for Zerg, but it will not be done remotely in time to actually stop these tanks. This is such a timer on the Zerg. Does have some Banelings on the way. And finished. If he can get a surround with those Lings and the tanks do not shoot down those Banelings, then he could clean this up. This is all about how those Banelings land. Spinecrawler goes down, instantly shot down. Here comes the attack. The Zerglings are coming in. Banelings going for the Marines. A couple good hits, and it might actually just be enough with some drones even reinforcing. A lot of damage done, but he did take it out before that bunker goes up, which is absolutely huge. Units lost. Terran has lost more than Zerg by just barely, and is just now starting his expansion. Very even trade. Income looking actually decent for the Terran, but Zerg can catch up pretty quick with those 11 drones on the way. He knows that aggression is over after killing those tanks. He does know that Deadiam can produce them 2 at a time, and he is not doing that. He is actually making Hellions. Alright, fast +1 for mech on the way from that armory. Setting up defensive position, wants to protect that expansion. A lot of Lings, map control, but not all that much else. Should be able to take out those Hellions. Oh, the Hellions get pulled back just in time. Very quick reaction by Deadiam. But he does know that with that map control, he can now safely take that 3rd. And seeing those tanks that quickly, it would be surprising to see much in the way of drops at this point. So again, just another tick for the I am safe factor that Ireniicus has. Alright, Muta's on the way from that completed Spire. 1-1 for Melee and Carapace on the way as well. Thor's on the way though, and they should be done in time to stop the Mutas that will be hitting very soon. Would like to see a little bit more creep spread, especially after getting all that pushed back. At least get it down to the 3rd so you have this very quick connection for both Queens to defend against any sort of air or drops, and just base defense in general. Alright, missile turret's going down. He knows the time for Mutas is here. Does he know from a scan? No, he has not actually gone into the main base or scanned it. He's doing this purely off of timings, and good timings they are. Thors plus Marines equals Mutas should not do much damage. Where are the Mutas? Ah, just 3 Mutas out for now. Air attack on the way, so he is committing to these Mutas. Some Banelings up as well. These tumors, he could be getting a lot more creep spread up right now, a lot more vision. And that definitely puts some pressure on the Terran, because the more of the map you have, the faster you can crush a push. Or at the very least know that push is coming. Alright, Hellions moving out. 1-1 for Zerg is nearly done. We do have Blue Flame for those Hellions coming out. Overseer coming in to die. That was the perfect angle for those missile turrets to take that out. So he's going to see that this base is not very muta-friendly. Check the building codes on that. That Overlord should have seen this push coming out. Question is, did Ireniicus actually see it? Alright, Mutaforce building up. And the income for the Zerg is just starting to pull way, way ahead. This very aggressive push. Got 3 Thors, some Hellions and Marines, and a Hellbat. And oh, those Spine Crawlers are almost done, but they're not quite. Can they finish in time before these? No, he's going to take 2 of them out, it looks like, before they even finish. Thors just completely wreck single target. So much single target DPS coming out of them. And it looks like the Mutas are actually going to go for a counterattack instead of staying home to defend. Overseer once again flying to its death. And nothing was here to actually stop this. That small group of Lings and Banelings. The Banelings not so good against Thors. And those Hellions and Marines, if they do have Stim, I actually don't believe they do have Stim. Oh, but he's walking up into this, and the Banelings are going to rush through all the light units that were in front. Getting a little splash on that Thor. But, yeah, he could not have actually saved that expansion if he had run down, so as painful as it was, staying up there was the right choice. These Mutas have done a ton of damage to the mineral line. No new Thors have come out to help defend it. Overseer miraculously survives. And he will clean this up with an extra reinforcement wave of Lings, but he has lost his 3rd. Mutas still not dealt with. 4 kill. Oh, how many kills have they gotten? 25 SCV kills for Ireniicus. So while he did lose his 3rd, he has done some major economic damage to the Terran. Thor is here. I cannot do the accent. But that will be enough to push back the Mutalists. Alright, going for a quick Hive and 2-2 for melee. Committing to those Zerglings and likely going to go into Ultralists. Again, the creep spread could be a little bit further at this point. Would have been good to be able to see the push that came in through this angle. Actually, as Zerg on this map, you really want to get creep out real quick in that path directly. I just canceled his 3rd. I'm confused. Does he want to? Nope, and he's retaking his 3rd. Ooh. That might have been a misclick. That is very unfortunate. So he's going to see that there is no 3rd for the Terran, which is both reassuring and terrifying, because that means the Terran is actually building up a monstrous, monstrous army. Though we should also keep a Ling out here, and possibly check here, though that Overlord will actually see this base location, so that should be just fine. And really, these are the 2 spots that you will likely see a 3rd. Do have an Ultra Cavern going down. So that is the high-tech of choice. Swarm Host and Enduring Locust as well. We're going to see some Swarm Host play. Definitely excited to see that. Another scary, scary push. Hellbat Thor is... Ooh, it is tough, because what do you engage that with? Lings will get melted. Roaches, I suppose, actually would be pretty good against this, because there are no tanks, but there are no roaches on the field. Do have +2 attack coming up. No armor at all, so this is actually going to be, in the end, a somewhat fragile mech army. But it should do so much damage at the offset, or at the beginning, that it shouldn't matter. And the Terran force is now moving up. Hellbat's taking care of these locusts super quick. I believe they're actual light units, and they're 2-shotting those locusts. Possible flank, but all those Banelings not really getting any clumped up units. The SCVs are safe, and the SCVs are now going to start to repair, making this mech army so difficult to kill. There are some roaches on the field, but there's just not enough of the numbers. Swarm Host. Oh, Mutas needs a magic box. Alright, Mutas do spread out in time before they get hit by some nasty, nasty Thor hits. But the SCVs are pairing, plus these Marines. These Mutas are not going to actually do anything at all. Needs to push this back, but with what? Because That Hellbat is just going to wreck Lings all day long. Needs to kill the Ling. Alright, now Lings are absolutely fantastic against this army. Needs Lings, especially with all those upgrades. But no, the SCVs repairing are just too good, and these Lings that are just coming in small waves are not going to be enough to actually outpace the SCVs repairing this. Ultralists, though. Ultralists are here to save the day. Except that one's going to die. This one will save the day. And then also die. Alright, these Locusts are here to save the day. Alright, these Locusts will save the day. 6 kills, 3 kills. Barely pushes back this push. And actually the damage, the army is dead. But the supplies in Ireniicus' favor, and he still does have this third. Still no third for the Terran. But it does look like some SCVs are moving down here to fix that shortly. Ireniicus will see this, though. So he will know that there's not some crazy follow-up all-in, and maybe he can put on some pressure of his own. Because killing a mech army sets you back so far. There's actually not that much here in terms of an army after crushing that initial push. And it looks like there are some Marines, some Zerglings are looking to do exactly. They're looking to scout this base very much. That Overlord in a bit of danger. Alright, those Lings are going to move in. Actually, ooh, those Marines are completely out of position to stop these Lings. Creeps being cleaned up. They're going to get a ton of free SCV kills. Is taking base in the top right. And Thor plus Marines are going to drive out these Lings. They might get a cancel on the barracks. They get a kill on the barracks. Definitely nice, and they might actually get this Thor. Oh, the Marines are being lazy and not actually attacking the Lings, and because of that, the Thor goes down. Beautiful snipe by Ireniicus. Deadiam just not watching in time. Alright, seeing more Swarm Hosts being produced, as well as Burrow, which isn't necessary for the Swarm Host, but it is nice to have, especially with Banelings. You can do some beautiful Baneling mines. Though against this sort of mostly mech army, which is a lot of Marines kind of transitioning into Hellbat Marine now, which is definitely interesting. Yeah, just building Hellions, or Hellbats and Marines, but no upgrades at all, with +3 armor, and I believe he already has +3 attack on the way. Yes, he does have +3 melee attack. Does need to rally these Swarm Hosts, though. They need to be going somewhere to at least scout something. Would like to see some Swarm Hosts down here, put some pressure on this base. Swarm Hosts are fantastic at sieging up and pressuring an enemy that's turtling up, which is basically what Deadiam is forced to do, and by forced to do, I mean he's actually moving out with a somewhat scary force, but Marines, no medevacs. He doesn't have stim, or combat, does he have combat shield? Yes, he does have combat shield, excuse me. Alright. These Locusts are, they're not really doing too much. Getting a bit more creep spread, but should be getting some creep spread. Again, all the way around here, you get so much more vision, so much more mobility. Yeah, he will not see this force moving up, which can easily snipe this base. Completely cuts this base off from anything else. He is going to see this now, with those Lings running by. Though likewise, Deadiam is going to see those Lings coming from somewhere they probably shouldn't be. So that will tip him off to this base. Is going to come up from behind. Can he trap this Terran army and at least trade this base for this army? Some more reinforcements coming in. And he's just... there's no real resistance being put up. No, Locust, you are free units. You can go attack, sacrifice yourselves nobly. No, and Deadiam can just go home. More damage onto the Zerg without much repercussion. Zerglings trying to go for the counterattack. Hellbat's so good against Zerglings, even without upgrades. And that is eventually going to get cleaned up. Still no upgrades on the way for either bio or mech beyond that +2 attack. So Deadiam somewhat on a timer in that regard, but... what does he have to stop this? He doesn't really have splash damage. He does have a lot of Swarm Hosts, but they're rallied in a somewhat strange position. That Ultralisk is getting a case of the derp and running all over the place. Oh, Ultralisk attack! That... I don't know what that Ultralisk just did. I don't know what that Ultralisk just did. That was some very unfortunate pathfinding, but he just could not stop this army in time. Swarmhost not so good for defense. Needed some Banelings, needed some Fungals, needed some more Ultras, and some Lings with them to... if just mass Ling Ultra on 3-3 with Ultras with their +5 armor against all these Marines and this Thor, that would have just been a slaughter, but just did not have his army together at the time and lost too much. Some good pushes by Deadiam. Good game, and that will bring Deadiam into the next round.